Hey guys, Max Zamber. Finally back with another toy review. Today we're taking a look at Transformers Robots in Disguise Deployers Drift. Now here you can see I've got Drift with his Minicon plugged into the front here. All armored up. I got my light up there in the corners making some real nice reflection off these parts. They look a little more red on camera, but they are just a really deep orange. Now, one thing I want to address before we get into this is Minicons that are fitting with the figures. I only have the two deployers and the Wave 1 Minicons. The two humanoid Minicons fit for drift with all their weapons attached. However, the Wolf does not. But then all three Decepticons fit fine. So we'll get to more of that later on in other reviews. I'm not going to show the other Wave 1 Minicons fitting in this video. This is just going to focus on drift. And when we deal with the Wave 1, I'll bring the deployers back in. So first things first. He does launch not amazingly, especially when you're in the air. When it's on the ground and it has something to slide with, it helps if you lock that back in first with your finger. But when you have something, like this, like the bedding or open air, it doesn't go that far. But on the ground, when it slides across a hard surface, it actually goes pretty far. Now, here he is with all his armor. One other thing I did want to show off is that in both robot and vehicle mode, these accessories are attachable for the Minicon that comes with each deployer. So here you see Drift can have his little fire jets to help accelerate him. And then one thing to be noted is that the Minicons fit in either way, but once you put all the armor on, they only fit in one way. But there's just enough clearance all around this to make it fit. Now, taking a look at the Minicon, I want to look at him first. Pop his little swords off. This is his fully armored Minicon shield disc mode, whatever you want to call it. Pop all these parts off here, and then we'll bring them all back in and reattach them so you can see them. There we go. So as you can see, pulling the parts off is not that difficult. The only ones I have an issue with are these shoulder panels right here for this Minicon. Just because of the way that they attach, they're very secure. Now here's his Minicon, all folded up. It's got that nice gold painted crest, but all you really, people can tell he's a disc, but he does look pretty cohesive. The flat feet still are a bit of a bummer, but there he is. And to transform him, you can either grab the torso and pull the feet down, or you can open up the shoulders. I like to grab that and pull it down, but for the sake of the review, just pull it out like this. As you can see here, when you pull it down, the face panel slides, the shoulders lift up, the arms lift out, and the legs slide down. So there's that, and then it somewhat locks into place. So there he is. He's got his nice little smirk, nice little blue picked out eyes. And I think he looks just adorable. He's got his little hip skirts there, and all the angling and all the hexagonal points. And, he's a nice little figure. Now on mine, he likes, if you pull him out all the way and then stand him, he's fine. But if you, once you mess around with his torso a little bit, his legs like to come disengaged. So like right there, if I just put him down, he's okay. And if I go to pick him up and handle him and then go to put him back down, well, he fell that time. But I found that when I go to put him down, he'll do that and he'll start to collapse. And I don't know why, because it feels like he should be locking, but then again, it's not locking that securely. So maybe it's just a bad connection. Maybe because of the rail that they used for a lot of these transformations inside, perhaps if I just go in, add a little tiny dot of super glue to make a little nub it'll have something more solid to click onto and hold onto. But, you know, that's the only real gripe with the little guy as he is, so just take that as you will. Now, armoring him up is a relatively quick state of affairs. Bring in our shoulder panels here. Let that focus. There we go. Save that for last. His little arms here. You can see he's got these little slots. Oop, dropped it. The inside of each shield panel has a little dash in it, and they're actually cut out a certain way, so they're wider at the top and more narrow at the bottom. So as long as you put the narrow at the bottom, you just plug it right onto the arm it goes with. Do that for both. I probably should have left all the accessories near my right hand, but you know. The back's kind of cool. He's got these two little slots and a little tiny notch up there and a couple tabs and a little notch. And that just goes together. Next, you can take his swords. They go, you know, they peg into the arm like so if you really want. But for his deployed mode, they're really supposed to just be plugged in. And then right into the head crest, you just plug his helmet. And there he is, all armored up. And like I said, this armor looks red on my camera, but it's actually just a really deep orange. Like the hue that you see at the edges, like the edge here of the shoulder panel, that orange, that's actually the orange of almost the entire plastic. But because of the light that's coming through it and whatnot, it does show up as a little more red on camera. So there he is. And then again, with the weapons, you're able to just collapse it. It takes if you push the bottom of the faceplate in, it gets a little wedge. So when you put it in, you got to be careful, make sure the mask goes on straight. Because as long as the mask is on straight, like so, you can see here that he does still fold up into his disc mode fine. And then you can reattach the swords. And there he is, back in his fully armored Minicon disc mode. Moving on to the main attraction, Drift. I really love this. He's got this nice Cybertronian vehicle mode going on. He's got 4 little wheels. He's very obviously just a tucked up robot, but I really love the profile of this character. I think he's very well designed. Transforming him. Actually, before we get to that, there is one flaw I have. And it's, on Fracture it's hidden amazingly well, on Drift it's not. That pointing deployer arm figure, or finger, is sticking out on him. On Fracture it's hidden because of the way he transforms. On Drift it just sticks out. That's the only thing I don't like, because if you cut it off, he's gonna look, you know, like that, but he's just gonna be missing an entire finger, and that's a real shame. I feel like in this case they should have added just the extra little joint to rotate the hand in, even if it's just 90 degrees, just to hide that so it stays a little more sleek. But as is, he's got a little teeny tiny, I mean, I guess you could pretend it's a little exhaust pipe, but it is what it is. So transforming him, you push these rear wheel wells down and out. Again, down and out. Now here you come up, and just the front wheel well with the mirror pops off. And it's on this little double arm. So you swing it all the way back. Same deal here. Pop that off, swing it all the way back. You can see he's just got the slot there and the little tab on the inside. On this one, he's got the mechanism sticking out for the deployer arm. So this has a short panel, this side has a long panel, so it's a little asymmetrical. I know for some people that would be a make or break. So here you just pop off of the black deployer claw. You pop the hood off and rotate this entire thing around, and as you do, you'll see you've got the whole figure here. And you snap those knees into place. Now here you fold each of these around, and then rotate the foot panel around. So there you go. Same deal here. Rotate this one all the way around, tab it in, fold that around. So there's that, and then taking care of this, you want to support it because this armature is a little, loose. But you rotate this around 180 to put it further behind the robot, and then rotate it out on that arm to put it behind his main arm. And there is Drift. and he, in my opinion, he looks fantastic. Um, like I said, my lighting's not the best, but he's got whoop, almost lost our camera. He's got a very nicely picked out face. I love the profile lines on him. He's got the nice angled shoulders that the other figures haven't really captured. The legs are nice and wide. Not wide stanced, wide as in bulked. Just like Fracture, he has this little locking gimmick, so when the legs are together, you can't deploy the gimmick. I guess that's to prevent accidental firing if a kid is holding the toy and looking at it, which it takes a bit of force to deploy them, but still it's a safety feature. Because then when you spread the legs, it opens up this mechanism. And on Drift, I like this mechanism better because it sits behind the arm, so it looks like gear, not just kibble. It doesn't really interfere with his stance when he stands there. And then for the deployment, because of the way it's mounted to the back of the arm, when you put a figure in there, it does kind of look like he could be throwing his arm forward and saying, go, now you go, and having a Minicon maybe fly off the back of his arm and go, versus the side like we see on the packaging and whatnot. Now, the one real flaw I have to this is that I really, really wanted to see tabs here to hook the Minicons on his arms. And that really bums me out. It's a gimmick that I feel was so simple. They covered the Mega Prime in him. He could have had them, but he didn't. But either way. So he's got the pointy finger there. This arm can move out and in, the deployer arm. If you rotate it forward, it's spring-loaded, so it snaps back. The legs have no articulation. This arm has a full 360 rotation. Moves all the way out to 90 and back down. Then the shoulder armor, like I said, is on that double armature. So depending on where you grab it and how far you move it, you might have to move back down yourself. But there he is now, connecting the Minicon there. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad. Like I said, it looks like he's got some gear hanging off. But there's that. Then launching him is just spreading the... If I didn't smack it into my computer. So there we go. I locked that in first, just to make sure it gets seated all the way. But there's that. And then, see if I can do this here without hitting anything. And I do it off camera. See, I'm not having a good time with this. I've already had to record this review 3 times today, and it's just not working. So here's that. You swing the arm down. There we go. And as you can see, it just shoots off. So there's that with the deployment. Now, the Minicons that come, like I said, with each of the deployers can share their hand weapons. So on Drift, they act as fire trails in his vehicle mode. They can stay on the Minicon in both modes. And in robot mode, you can give your Drift figure these... Whoops. Here I am having issues again. Here, you can give Drift these arm blades. And because... There we go. Because of the design... There we go, moves a little closer. Because of the overall design, he doesn't have a lot of articulation to be spoken of. But overall, I still think he's a great figure. I'm extremely happy with him at the $20 price point. Most stores right now, if they don't have them out, most Target stores I know are just doing their resets now. So you should be able to find him, if you haven't already, very quickly, along with the Wave 1 Minicon assortment. I know for a fact Target is just putting them all out now for their resets. So everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this look at Transformers Prime Transformers Prime. Transformers Robots in Disguise Minicon Deployer Drift with Minicon. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.